2008 Volkswagen GTI. Very popular car. A lot of competition. A lot of different makes and models to choose from as far as the competition goes. So there we go. Alright, so here are the first few kind of real quick specs about the 2008 Volkswagen GTI. It has, as some of you may know, a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, which makes 200 horsepower, these are factory numbers, and 207 foot-pounds of torque. Now the turbo itself spools at about 1800 RPM, so you get a lot of power down low, a lot of torque very instantly. You don't have to downshift through any gears. You don't have to rev it high to get torque. You could be cruising in 5th gear, you know, doing 30 miles an hour, and you could step on it and it'll pull you through. So that really gives you a lot of, whoops, I had to hold the wheel there for a little bit. It gives you a lot of torque down low, which is nice. Now, the benefit with the engine is that because it's turbocharged, it's got, there we go, it's got a lot of potential as far as gas mileage goes. In other words, I've been getting mid-20s, 25, 26 in the city. I'm sorry, this camera work is horrible. I need a tripod. I've been getting 25, 26 in the city and about 30 to 33 in the on the freeway. So I've been really getting really good gas mileage as far as that goes. Now the one caveat is that you do have to use premium. Now you don't have to, but it's definitely recommended by Volkswagen because it does give you better gas mileage, it does give you better performance, better longevity of the motor. It's kind of like it's kind of like eating fast food and eating, you know, healthy food all the time. Not that fast food's not healthy, but it's kind of like eating the two different ones, and then you get a person who's on one diet and a person who's on the other diet, and you kind of see the results as far as performance goes. You know, you're not gonna feed athletes fast food burgers, or, you know, because they just won't perform well. So that's kind of how the premium premium regular fuel thing works. So that's probably a terrible example, but whatever. Yeah, and so for the 2008 model year, they've had this particular model since 2006. 2008 model year, they've only changed a few things. One of the major changes they've had versus the previous years is they've changed the ride height. It's once again making a turn. It's 15 millimeters lower than the 06 and 07 models, so it rides a little bit lower to the ground. It doesn't, because some of the older ones, if you ever look at them, if they're not lowered, they look like they're little mini SUVs. So this one's it's in a little bit better look, and it also gives better performance as far as handling and all that. Speaking of handling, this car is one of the few cars that I want to have on a mountain road. It is a great car. It's fun to drive. It is fast. That turbo spool is great. A lot of torque. It's really, when you take this on a twisty road, it's really a great performer. It really is. Now, something that would compare to the GTI would be cars like the WRX, cars like the Honda Civic Si, you could have even the Evo. You could throw that in there. You could throw in a Cobalt SS. You know, a lot of those kind of a hot hatch category, you know, performers. And I'd pick the GTI over any of those, and I'll have, obviously. And the reason being is, first off, it wasn't named Automobile of the Year for 2007 by Automobile Magazine for no reason. I mean, it's been, I could even prove it to you later on when I get home. Is they've had numerous top 10 car awards, numerous fun to drive car awards, and this has always been consistently coming up top on all of them. There's been a lot of ratings, and this is definitely one of the top 10 cars to own. So this is not me saying it. This is the bigwigs when they, you know, in the magazines when they rate all these cars. So this is definitely one of the most fun cars to drive. It's not the fastest. It doesn't have the most horsepower, but it's got everyday livability, and it's fun. It's fun to drive. It's got a fun to drive factor. and it's also got a kind of an everyday usability. Like it's usable. It's not like, you know, if you get in a can't really give an example, but if you get into something, say even the older WRX STIs, I don't know about the brand new ones because I haven't driven one, but the older ones, if you try and drive them every day, they're really stiff, really kind of sprung just for sporty driving. You can't be super comfortable taking it on a long highway cruise, you know? Versus the GTI, I've taken this on 500-600 mile trips and it's been fine. You know, the seats are comfortable, the traveling is on the freeway, it's fine, you know, and when you're taking it on a mountain road, it's fun to drive as well. So it's usable every day, and it's fun and it's fast, and it's kind of got an all-around, it hits all the points that you want it to hit, and that's why it's been winning so many awards. And on top of that, who invented the hot hatch anyways? It was the Volkswagen back in 1983. The GTI, that was what invented the hot hatch. That was, they put a little, you know, a little motor in there and made a light car and made it go fast, made it fun, and it won numerous awards. And there's been a kind of a following ever since, you know. So I know a lot of you might not agree with this. Let me check how long is this video anyways. Oh, okay, all right. Sorry. A lot of you might not agree with this. A lot of you might say, "Oh, what are you talking about, Max? The WRX STI is fun to drive and it's comfortable," or "I hate Volkswagens because they always break down," or the GTI is this and that, and you know, go ahead, say it. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But I've had this car for 2 years. I haven't had any major issues with it. It's been a great car, and honestly, if I was in a position to go look for another car, I would definitely go and either look for another GTI or keep this one, because I'm perfectly fine with this car. There's not even a need for another car. It's completely perfect. It's fun to drive. It looks good. It's great, you know, on gas and everything. So when you're shopping for a car, definitely something to consider as far as a hot hatch in the low $20,000 price range goes. And speaking of price range, how did I miss this? This is, for the money, this is definitely the best car you can buy as far as money goes. It's got quality throughout. It's got features everywhere. I mean, you got your standard the new ones even have standard heated seats, your standard 6-disc CD changer with iPod, satellite radio, you know, power everything. I mean, and that's all standard. So like my model is the base model, base. There's no options on it, and it's all standard, and it's got a ton of features to begin with. So you don't have to load it up with everything, you know, versus getting a you know, a Cobalt SS where you have, you know, no quality, cheap plastics, and it's fast, but you know, you've got no good, you know, basically in the interior there's nothing good that would attract you, you know. I mean, it's just an econo box with a stuffed up turbocharged motor or supercharger or however they come with. So just a little review for you guys. Leave a comment. Hopefully you go subscribe. I'm going to be trying making a lot more of these videos on a lot of different cars. My mom's car, my dad's car, you know. Try and get cars from other places I have access to. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know what you think.